To say that I have, since the beginning, all of this started with Panda and I's video, I have stated very clearly, very concisely, what my purpose in all of this is for. And because true accountability, true responsibility, has still yet to have been taken, I am continuing doing what I am doing. And I will continue to do what I am doing until true accountability is taken, and not accountability that is rooted, in my view, in fabricating text messages in order to fool and manipulate an audience of millions.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Hey, funny guy! I got a joke for you! What smells rotten and puts people to sleep?
Noxious gas?
No! Your act!
Word, accountability. Me and coryxkenshin's best moments is accountability. Alright, bro. Like, at this point, it should be abundantly clear that this guy is A, a liar, and 2, lost in the fucking sauce.
All right, so I know it's been a while. It's been around 7 days or so, and I know you guys have been waiting on my coverage on the drama that just continued over on MavAttack's channel. If you guys are not aware, the last video, well, I guess the one before the last one, we went over Moshi's video on MavAttack, and let's be real, I am gonna say right now, Moshi did expose MavAttack. And as for the updates that happened around a few days ago, when Moshi decided to respond to Mav's response, which by the way, we're going to be going over MavAttack's response before we go over Moshi's response. And honestly, the reason why I didn't make a video solely on MavAttack's response was because I knew I really wasn't going to have too much to say about it. And I say that because this drama between the two, like, there are a lot of things that I don't know. There are a lot of things that are he said, she said type shit, right? Where they're just saying things about each other that they don't show proof about. So yeah, we'll go over what MavAttack said, at least I guess the important things, because I don't want to spend all day on his response. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Around 6 days ago, MavAttack put out his video titled Addressing the Allegations from coryxkenshin's Fans. Now, something I gotta say about this title, and something you're going to realize, is does he actually talk about coryxkenshin's fans in this video specifically? I know he briefly brought me up, but I'm not a coryxkenshin fan, unless he just assumes that, which, let's be real, if you believe that I'm a coryxkenshin fan, you are out of your damn mind. Now, I definitely don't hate the guy. I don't even dislike his content. I think he's a cool content creator. I've seen some of his videos, but let's be real, not to hate, Queso is better. I'm gonna be real. That's probably gonna be really controversial, but Queso has always been my #1 gaming content creator. But that's just me. And no offense to Cory. I mean, Cory's still cool, but assuming that I'm a coryxkenshin fan because he mentions me in his video is just wrong. And I mean, it's also wrong to say that about Moshi, because we don't inherently know that Moshi is a coryxkenshin fan. But anyways, I guess let's get into the video.
Hey, remember you talked to a 14-year-old on May 6, 2020, got caught and paid the user to delete the tweet? This never happened. There is no evidence of anything happening around this time or anything regarding allegations as serious as this. Now, people actively go on campaigns to call me a pedophile. This is false. None of this is true. The second allegation I'm addressing happened on Twitter. This person alleged that I messaged them to self-harm after speaking out in support of Cory when Panda and I's initial video dropped. I do not know this person. I've never spoken to them prior to confronting them for making the fake screenshot.
All right, I'm going to cut it here and I'm going to input my thoughts. Does MavAttack deserve to have these false allegations, or what look like to be false allegations, coming at him? I mean, I guess that really depends on your opinion, but in my opinion, no. I mean, I feel like this has been brought up many times with like the 14-year-old or whatever that everybody wants to use against you and these allegations. Like, I'm gonna be real, I don't think you need to worry about this if it's not true. Like, I understand that people are going to try and use this against you or whatever, but I mean, you're just lucky that I'm smart enough not to use this against you. And I say that because I'm one of the biggest names currently talking about this, which is actually rare for me because I usually am like the last person to every topic because I'm just busy as hell. But no, if I was like some of the motherfuckers in the fucking commentary community who love throwing false allegations at other people, man, you would have had a lot more to deal with. I'm gonna be real. But I don't appreciate false allegations or just like allegations without backing being thrown at people and have them be ruined for it, or have them criticized like they did something when we don't even know if they did something. So when it comes down to, if anybody is watching this video right now who has tried pushing these allegations towards Mav without any proof, or like, you know, it's just like the whole gossip thing, right? Oh, he could have done this, he could have done that. Stop it. Just stop. Because first of all, you're taking away from what actually matters in this situation, and you're redirecting it to something that you don't even know if it's true or not. So once there's proof that comes out, once there's evidence, whatever, right? That's when I would love for people to bring it up, because I've looked all around and I have not found anything. So please, let's stop and let's continue.
So the next thing that I'll be addressing are the allegations and also taking accountability for the YouTube video created by Mistamoshi saying that I was a horrible friend. And we're going to go piece by piece here.
Hey, what's good, everybody? My name is mistamoshi. Me and MavAttack, we're friends for a good 4 to 5 years. We made content together, and we just in general came up in the YouTube space together.
Just like the title of the video, yes, I was a horrible friend, but I never really liked Moshi, and I should have been open and honest with him about that fact. There were numerous times where Moshi would go out of his way to instigate problems between other mutual friends, take information that was spoken to in private and spread that amongst other people, maybe not necessarily to be malicious, but to create discord amongst people. And this is one of the several reasons why I didn't like him and didn't really consider him a close friend at the time. I should have been honest with the things that I didn't like about what he was doing, saying. I harbored a lot of thoughts and feelings about Moshi, thinking that that was going to be the good thing. By not speaking up and just letting things slide, it ultimately made things worse. And that's what happens when you're not transparent, you don't open up about the issues that you're having with people, and unfortunately, this is a byproduct of that.
Okay, so this is what I was talking about earlier. It's like, even with the Moshi video, it comes down to whether or not you want to believe what they're saying, whether or not you want to believe what Mav's saying about Moshi or what Moshi is saying about Mav. Like, I think we all know who I'm more inclined to believe, and it ain't Mav. And from what I have seen, what Mav just said based off of old live streams, I don't really know if that is the case. But anyways, moving on.
He wants to pretend that, oh, he cares about women and he cares about misogyny, and I'm just like, this is the same guy who stumbles into Discord drunk and tries to show you nudes of women that nobody asked for, and I'm pretty sure you didn't ask her to show me.
I'm very confused at what you mean by this, because I don't recall this ever happening.
See, and I'm not saying that Moshi should have got this and had this on file, like a screen recording or like a screenshot or something or anything like that, right? But when you make baseless claims like that without evidence, sure, I'm more inclined to believe you, but at the same time, it's just really easy to say, oh, no, I don't remember that ever happening. It's super easy for him to deny what you're saying. So I don't know if this is true or false or what.
I'm a defender of people who were abused angle that he's using, stringing that panda chick along. I already said how I felt about her. And when the news dropped, I was sick to my stomach. And then, say, you do what you do in that situation, you believe the victim. But once you start leaving blank pages in your message for dramatic effect and bringing up his mom, I'm like, all right, yo, you can get out of here too.
The video that Moshi is referencing here is his response to the Panda Ninja allegations that came out initially. It was his reply to that, which has been either privated or deleted. But that included spewing vulgarities at Panda Ninja and overall not taking the situation seriously.
All right, Mav, you're the one to talk about taking the situation seriously. Right. This guy just sucks. He really does. And he just proves it as he goes along with every new video that he makes. Talk about being serious. You say some shit like this and then look at your channel a few days later. Like, he's still uploading videos of best moments between him and Cory. Like, why? I don't understand it. This is not being serious. So you're gonna go at Moshi for not allegedly not being serious, because I haven't seen the video. But if it's true what you said about him, like saying vulgarities and stuff like that, well, I think initially when the allegations came out with that video where they were genuinely trying to ruin Cory's career, I think a lot of people had many reasons to be pissed off. Many. Especially when it came out that she said that, like, that never happened. Like, I think there's a reason why people were fucking mad.
Tell the people how you met your wife. This was back before they got married, before she was even his girlfriend. This dude Mav was juggling, he flirted, seduced, and was juggling a married woman with his I guess his girl or his wife, who wasn't his wife at the time. And then when he caught, instead of taking responsibility and being like, hey, I'm a piece of shit, he banded together with his now wife to form the Legion of Doom and cyberbully this woman to the point of physical sickness. He knows who I'm talking about. I'm not gonna bring up her name because she's off somewhere doing her own thing, being successful, and she probably wants no parts of this.
Okay, this portion of the video is going to be relatively lengthy. I had ended my first and last long-term relationship in 2017, and from that point forward, I was single. I was exploring connections and getting to know other people while I was single, and the woman that Moshi mentions in the video happened to be one of them. Her and I had flirted back and forth way before my wife and I were ever a thing. This became awkward when I found out that she was in a relationship, she wasn't married, she wasn't engaged, and she later confirmed this with my wife. So I didn't start seeing my wife until November of 2019, and then we finally got into a relationship on December 7th, 2019. And then I publicly posted us on Valentine's Day in February of 2020. Now, I don't understand if Moshi was trying to say that I was juggling this woman and my long-term ex-girlfriend at the time, or if I was juggling this woman and my current wife at the time. But either way, that never happened because I was single. Stating that we cyberbullied this woman into physical sickness is false. And in actuality, the woman cyberbullied my wife for the simple fact that she got in a relationship with me. This woman reached out to my wife on Instagram to have a conversation about the series of events from when she started talking to me and when my wife and I started dating. My wife was willing to hear her out and understand her until she started deleting messages that were not true. Messages such as getting in a relationship with me and even moving in with me. This woman then proceeded to showcase her guilt by messaging my wife on multiple social platforms, even emailing her, checking in on her, making sure things were okay. This woman then went on to invade our social groups, creating discord and spreading lies about my wife. My wife was antagonized, which caused her to expose this woman's affair publicly. These public posts that my wife made were taken down quickly, but they caused this woman to spiral. So from these events onward, my wife blocked her, and for some time, the woman thought that my wife was posting subliminals about her, which wasn't true.
Okay, as much as I want to say something about this, like, I have no idea what is going on here, nor do I know if what Mav is saying is actually true or not, despite the screenshots. The screenshots really don't show anything. I mean, everything's blurred out and whatnot. I know he wants to keep the identity of everybody, like, you know, private and anonymous, right? But how am I supposed to believe what is actually happening, let alone that I don't have the full story on it? And if you guys know anything about how I feel about Mav, I'm not the kind of guy to, like, blindly believe MavAttack, or if he presents his facts one way and it turns out to be something totally different and say not be true. So I don't know how I feel about this. If anybody knows about this, feel free to add like some context down in the comment section down below. But yeah, I don't have too much to say about this.
Now I'm stopping things right here really quick because this video was uploaded 4 weeks ago, and only a few days after it was uploaded, my wife and I went to the comment section to address everything, to speak our minds about what he spoke his mind about. Come to find out, however much time later, that our comments were hidden from the channel, so our voices were silenced for trying to speak up and defend ourselves. At least during the time of me recording this video, our comments do not exist publicly, but if I'm on the MavAttack account and I go to this video, I can still see my comments addressing the video.
Yeah, in his video, because I already watched his video, Moshi's like response video, he talks about why he did this. And let's be real, why are we going to other people's comment sections and like trying to clarify things and defend ourselves in other people's comments and like typing all of that? I will never understand this, or actually maybe I will. And the reason why I say that is because there was little to no incentive for Mav to make this video, and the only reason why he made it was because I posted a video going over Moshi's video, so then he had to respond because my video got a lot of views. That's the only reason why we got a video response on MavAttack's channel. The only reason, because of me. Because Moshi's video got like no views on it. I'm gonna be real. And nobody was really paying attention to it until I made my video. That's why you finally made your video. And I know why you didn't want to make a video on it and you just wanted to respond in the comments section. It's because you knew that you were not going to benefit a lot off of making a video responding to Moshi, because you constantly have to use coryxkenshin's name in the title, including in this video where you're responding to Moshi that has literally almost nothing to do with Cory. You put Cory's name. Like, are you trying to insinuate that Moshi is a coryxkenshin fan, or are you trying to insinuate that I'm a coryxkenshin fan? Because I don't think either are true. I don't know if Moshi tells us whether or not he is a fan, but I highly doubt it. But yeah, no, you're literally like, every video needs to have Cory's name in it to get views. Like, if you really cared about what Moshi had to say about you, you would have made a response video before I made a video on Moshi's video going over everything. But no, instead, you never did that, and you had to wait until I made a video myself to make your response video deal back to Moshi. Now, anyways, besides the yap, let's continue.
Yeah, I can't lie to y'all. It got bad. It got to the point where it's like mutuals that we both knew started treating me differently. You'll say I would start getting random passive aggression from people I hadn't even gotten the chance to meet yet.
So in regards to myself and Steph's head mod and manager at the time, Otia, going on a smear campaign against Moshi is completely false. And even though Otia and I do no longer speak to each other or see eye to eye on certain things, I can at least speak to Otia's character and say that Otia would never do anything like this. I know that Otia would not go out of his way to spread and smear somebody's name because of a business disagreement. That is just not in his character. And I find it interesting that you've brought up Steph and Otia and the business fallout that you guys had, when if you look up Mistamoshi's history, this isn't the first time that he's had a business falling out with a group of people.
Yeah, Mav, I'm really not sure if you want to bring that one up, because the way that they treated Moshi when it came down to that group, I mean, I have recordings of it from archives, and once again, the way that they treated him, the way that they were talking to him, yeah, not really sure if you want to bring that one up, or say that he's in the wrong for what happened. But anyways, continuing.
Now, while there was not a smear campaign, I never ran around telling people not to talk to Moshi. That simply did not happen. I can, however, empathize with cutting people off, not knowing who to trust, not knowing who's your friend, who's going to backstab you, who's trying to benefit off of your connections or who you know. I can empathize with that and understand that 100%. And that does suck that that happened to Moshi. But as far as my side and everything, I had absolutely nothing to do with any of that.
Well, isn't that crazy? That sounds awfully familiar. And it sounds exactly what you had been doing to Cory. Like, was it not? So how do we know that this didn't happen with you and Moshi when you're clearly doing it to somebody else? And then you're saying it's unfortunate that it's happening to Moshi as you're doing it to Cory. Like, come on, dude, really? Like, guys, this is all fake. This is all him trying to make himself look like he's somehow a good person when he's not. And if anybody believes this, well, don't. Anyways.
So when I see you get on the internet crying mental abuse because your friend won't talk to you anymore and his community used to ask you where he was, when it's like, I have to deal with all that happened. And on top of that, I got to deal with both Mav's people and Steph's people asking me where they are without the situation. It would be proper for me to explain to them that, hey, I don't know and I don't care because these people are pieces of shit. And now I got to hold that.
I have never agreed with the behavior of fans potentially reaching out and harassing someone about anyone's whereabouts. For anybody else who thinks that I agree with being harassed and asked about somebody else or myself, no, I have never agreed with that. It's ridiculous and nobody should be bothered. If this is true, Moshi shouldn't have been bothered about my whereabouts either, because I've always been extremely vocal about parasocial behavior on my channel regarding people harassing me about Cory's whereabouts.
I feel like a broken record saying this, but I have to say it again. I mean, it was super easy just to put in a block term like Cory or coryxkenshin or coryxkenshin, but you refused to do even the bare minimum. And it almost seems like you wanted this to happen so that you could use it as something to throw at the wall to see if it sticks. That's what I believe right now, because you took no initiative to make it physically impossible for people to leave comments asking where Cory was when you could have done that.
So why would I think it was okay for them to bother Moshi? And Moshi, you never reached out or addressed these concerns with me. If you need to talk about this, feel free to reach out to me because I am open to communication.
I mean, let's be real. Moshi is literally doing what you did to Cory, but instead of a smear, in my opinion, I believe it's true. I believe Moshi. I really do. Especially after we get into his response to this response. But anyways.
I know how it feels to know that someone could simply say something to relieve that pressure, but refuses to do so.
What do you mean Cory was refusing to do so? He's been saying shit for the longest time. He said it multiple times, even when he came back and made a brief response to this. Even though it wasn't directly at you, he still responded. He said, guys, stop doing that. Let's stop. Come on. He's done it multiple times. You act like he wants this or he just does not care. But once again, how many times do we have to bring up that when you have a massive audience of like, say, 20 million subscribers, you can't constantly be in every little corner of the internet when one of your fans acts up to tell them not not to, or to get them to stop, right? Like, this is bullshit. Beyond fucking bullshit.
And ever since that day, 5 years ago, MavAttack has not talked to Strix ever since.
So in regards to Strix, and this is even something that I mentioned in the YouTube comment section that was hidden, is that during the time that we were friends or content buddies, myself, Strix, and Steph decided to make a separate group chat that excluded Moshi because we felt that we couldn't speak honestly or reveal personal information around Moshi due to behavior that he displayed in the past. And so bringing an ultimatum to Strix to choose between myself and Moshi, it was a decision that was rooted in what was going on behind Moshi's back. And while again, I do take accountability for being a bad friend to Moshi, this is something that I couldn't sit with and have Strix continue to be a friend in my life, knowing that he could be a bad friend to Moshi as well. So yes, I cut off Strix, I cut off Moshi, and from my knowledge, Steph ended up cutting us all off, deleted his YouTube channel, and stepped away from the internet.
Yeah, I don't know what to say except for you sound like a piece of shit. You literally sound like a piece of shit. From what you told us, that's literally what you sound like, a piece of shit. I don't know what else to say about that. I mean, what was this previous behavior from the past that Moshi had displayed that you guys didn't want to include him in the conversation about? Like, I love how you're keeping it a secret. I love how you're just not saying what it is or what it was, right? Let alone that, like, how long ago was this behavior, like, happening? Like, something that I don't like and something that I don't understand is that a lot of people will view you based off of the things you've done in the past that might not always be positive, and they fail to realize that you can grow and change as a person and not be the person you once were, or do the things that you once did, or make the mistakes that you once did, right? So I'm kind of just curious about this. I'm kind of curious about what behavior happened in the past regarding Moshi and why they didn't want to include him, because what possibly could this behavior be about to go behind his back and have like a conversation about cutting him off?
Even to this day, like Mav said that, oh, he stopped being friends with Corey, but it's like, no, Corey stopped responding to you. He stopped being friends with you because you're a bad friend and you treat your friends poorly when they're not looking.
This is false. Do I believe that Corey held a grudge against me, even though he accepted my apology and said we would move forward from this? Absolutely. But to notice patterns and a very close friendship of mine rot in the way that it did, I had to step away. I had to be the one to cut that off because I didn't believe that Corey was capable of taking that step forward and ending the friendship.
And because you can't mutually and consensually have a collaboration with Corey, you're going about this nasty and negative way in order to force that interaction with his community.
I do want to say that I have, since the beginning, all of this started with Panda and I's video, I have stated very clearly, very concisely what my purpose in all of this is for. And because true accountability, true responsibility has still yet to have been taken, I am continuing doing what I am doing.
Shut the fuck up. You're such a fucking liar. I have stated very clearly, very concisely what my intentions are in this, and they are to help the victims. That's pretty much what he is saying. And what did we find out with Panda? Was she really a victim? No, she was not. At least not based off of the things that have came out. And then on top of the Panda stuff, they mentioned that there are more people that Corey abused, right? And to this day, I have heard nothing about that. Nothing at all. No, oh, they're gonna come out in like a week or two or something like that, or we're gonna start making the videos on Corey, like, and we're gonna put them out next week or something. Nothing at all. It's just been coryxkenshin and MavAttack best moments number 3, number 2, number 1. Like, shut the fuck up. You're obviously stating that your intentions are not actually what they are, and you're lying. That's what you're telling me. And this gives me another reason not to believe anything that MavAttack says, at least not without evidence, because he's fucking lying, and I think everybody can see it.
In my view, in fabricating text messages in order to fool and manipulate an audience of millions. That is not true accountability or honesty, and that is the reason why I'm doing all of this.
Why? My guess is because his girl does OF, and with her just having a baby, she's out of commission, so he's like, baby, even if I look crazy, I'm gonna get this bread. That's my guess. I can't really, you know what I'm saying, explain to you his thought process.
So for clarification, my wife is a financial dominatrix in the kink and BDSM community. And yes, while OnlyFans is one of the platforms that she utilizes for her work, it is not the only platform that she utilizes for work. And not only was my wife not out of commission during her pregnancy, but my wife was the only reason that you guys knew in the first place that she was pregnant.
All I'm saying is, hey man, you already used up all your friends. At least stop using Corey, man, because you're still using him. Still using his community. It's just take. I think even at one point, you tried to ask him to be his editor, knowing he edits his own videos and he takes pride in that. I think at one point you asked to move in with him. So it's like, yeah, this obsession you have, Yeah, bro, you gotta let that go.
Yes, there was a point where I offered my editing services to Corey because I felt that I could provide a service to him that could potentially allow him to not have to take as many breaks off of the platform as he was. Corey obviously denied this because he takes pride in editing videos for himself. And not only did I extend my editing services to Corey, but I was actually a manager for coryxkenshin from March to April of 2017.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe this, guys. I'm gonna be real. You, a manager for Corey. Yeah, right. I don't know. Maybe he's speaking the truth, but why do I give a shit? Oh, right. I don't.
Where I helped Corey gain contact information for video game requests. I helped Corey get verified on certain social media channels, and I even got through the negotiations of getting the coryxkenshin website. And lastly, I never asked to move in with Corey. And in fact, in November of 2019, Corey mentioned becoming his roommate.
Why am I walking around my den right now and something just fell in the corner? See? This is why we gotta be roommates, bro. I can't live by myself. Wait, what was that? Ah!
Okay, Moshi brought this up too, but let's be real. He was fucking joking there. It's very obvious to tell just by the way that he's talking, because he was talking about being scared or whatever and needing somebody to be there for him to like feel safe or whatever because like shit's just fucking falling or whatever. Whatever he was saying, right? He thinks there's a ghost in his apartment. He said he needs somebody to move in with him so he can feel safe in his den. That's basically what he just said. And he said it in a joking way. So stop the bullshit. He didn't actually mean like, yeah, come move in with me. That was not a serious statement. And you're just trying to twist things, let alone that like this voice memo started like halfway through, so we have no idea what he said in the first like beginning part of the voice memo. So he's obviously trying to help aid this narrative that he's trying to push about how Corey wanted him to move in with him and wanted him to be the manager or whatever.
And then in October of 2020, Corey mentioned moving in with him.
And you can just chill out for like however long you want. You know how I am. Shoot, unless I gotta go somewhere, which I don't, like, shoot, you can move in, bruh.
And okay, it looks like he was the manager for a certain period of time, but he's not being truthful with everything he's saying here. Again, was he being totally serious about what he was saying? No. And you can obviously tell. Let alone that once again, you're taking something from a voice memo and you're playing it from like a minute and 23 seconds in. Like, dude, just come on, stop it. Okay, lastly, because he wraps up going over Moshi's video, he does do a response to me, just a little tiny response to one of my videos where I'm giving some of my thoughts, and apparently he's claiming that this is not an opportunity for him to make money in response to me saying that he needs money because he most likely doesn't have a job. I wasn't saying that as fact, by the way, but it wouldn't surprise me, and here's what he had to say.
But this is not an opportunity for me to make money. I've stated what my intentions for all of this was at the very beginning, and I will continue to do that. And anything else that comes from this is residual for me pushing for accountability, responsibility, and openness on these public YouTube platforms.
And it's pretty fucking sad claiming that there are abuse victims and then he's going to act this way and, you know, use this whole thing for clout and money. It's disgusting. It really is. And I'm happy only a select few people, probably like 5 people, genuinely actually like this guy.
If any of my videos that are monetized offended or made the victims of these allegations feel uneasy, I would not monetize them. I have gotten permission to monetize every video that features somebody that is not myself, which means Panda has given me her permission and okay to monetize our initial video talking about the hidden life of coryxkenshin. And in future videos where we highlight other victims' experiences with coryxkenshin, I will make sure to reach out to them and get their okay on whether I can monetize those videos or not. Because at the end of the day, just like channels such as Breone's, I'm allowed to monetize the videos that go up on my YouTube channel. I just find it funny that everybody claims that after so long, I decided to come back to the platform because I knew I could make money. So what you're telling me is I was sitting around for 2 years, doing absolutely nothing, making no money, living off of my wife, and then I found an opportunity to where I could finally make some money. And I jumped on that after sitting around doing nothing for 2 years?
I mean, oh, brother, he's so funny. I mean, maybe that might be the case. I wouldn't put it past him, but I just wanted to say nobody inherently has a problem with you monetizing the videos. But when you're trying to push a smear campaign and also claiming that there are other victims that Corey abused and you're just sitting on that, like, I understand that can take some time, but does that mean you should be muddying the waters, responding to his like fans, or making videos like Corey and MavAttack best moments? Like, I feel like any rationally thinking thinking human being can sit here and realize, like, maybe you shouldn't be making videos milking Corey while not covering these alleged victims that you have who still need to say something about Corey and need to share their stories. Like, you do not need to post. And you can say, well, just like Breone, I can monetize my videos too, and I got the permissions of like Panda, and I will get the permission of the people who eventually come out or whatever on my channel. Like, I understand that. I didn't have a problem with you monetizing, like, say, the hidden life of coryxkenshin. Never had a problem with that, even though it was full of a lot of like bullshit and false claims and stuff like that. But no, I will never understand using Corey's name in every fucking video while stating that there are more victims that still need to come out in a video on your channel. I will never understand that. And I'm not trying to rush anybody who might be out there, right? But how are you going to sit here and tell me that, oh, I'm not doing anything wrong or whatever? How are you going to sit here and be like that and try to make everybody think like you're some hero or something while you're posting every video, almost every video besides the becoming a dad one and the battlefield one? Every single video has Corey's name in it. Every single video. Like, he wants you to think that he's a hero and he's doing a good deed while he's actively taking advantage of the situation to make money, essentially. Why else is he doing this? And he can sit here all day and say, oh, it's because I want to help the victims or whatever, right? But is he really helping the victims, Panda? Really? You were a victim of a toxic relationship. And if that's being a victim of something, then I guess a lot of us in the real world are victims. That includes me, because I've been cheated on before. But you don't see me sitting here crying about it. Like, I'm sorry. You just don't. A lot of people, it's something that, oh, it sucks. It really fucking does. But you just have to get over it and move on. And it says a lot about you if you can't get over it. I'm gonna be real. Like, if some genuine bad shit happened to you, then okay. But this is not genuine bad shit. We've gone over everything, unless there's some shit that they haven't put out, and it's not what they were claiming it was. It was not abuse of any form. So yeah, I'm gonna have a problem when you're saying that there's more victims that were allegedly abused by Corey. I'm gonna sit here and complain when you're just making filler content and putting out random videos like best moments that do show without you having to say your true intentions for doing this. Like, stop trying to make people think that, oh, hey, you're actually doing something good when you're not. You have brought nothing valuable to the fucking table. Nothing at all. And how the hell is anybody supposed to believe you after you continuously keep making a fool out of yourself? And it's not even just to me, it's to everybody who is watching. Like, I don't understand the play here. You want people to believe you, and you want people to believe like the Panda story along with these alleged victims that you have that haven't came out yet. You want people to fucking believe you and them, but you continue to muddy and bullshit the fucking waters. I do not get it. It's either you actually do have victims of Corey or you don't. And like I said before, I'm hoping you don't, because of the way you've handled everything. Because if you do, they're not going to get anywhere near justice for any bad thing that has happened to them by Corey. Like, there's a reason why if you handle cases, and I know we're talking about like the court of law and whatnot, but there's a reason why if you mess up a case or if something is not 100% correct, they can fucking throw out the case. There's a reason why that's a thing. And because of things like that, because, you know, things like that do happen and people do get away with the crimes and heinous things that they do because of that, I think you should be shamed. I think you should be endlessly shamed, because if Corey did do anything illegal, if he did do anything that is even morally bad, you fucking ruined it, bro. You ruined it before anybody was able to come out about it. So yeah, honestly, fuck you for that. You do not care about the victims. You've made it blatantly clear. You can say it all you want to everybody. You can like preach to the choir, but that doesn't mean it's true, because frankly, it's not. If anything, you're a grifter, and you made it clear that you're only doing it for the money. And I don't care what you say, you made it very fucking clear. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into Moshi's video, because I'm done ranting about MavAttack. I watched Moshi's video. I think it's a really good video, and he also has somebody back up what he's saying. Somebody who was involved that you'll hear about in just a minute. So yeah, without further ado, let's take a look at a response to MavAttack by mistamoshi.
All right, let's get this over with, because frankly, I don't care anymore. And you look at your comment section, they don't care anymore. But nevertheless, I can't let you call me a liar. And after this, me and you will have no more interactions until we both hit that dirt. Real quick, very nasty work. Very nasty work using Corey's voice messages like that, but I'll get to that at the end. So to debunk the things you said in your video, I'll be using a combination of screenshots and also word from my friend Strix, who was a part of our 4-man friend group, who was a part of Steph's financial team and who was there for your interaction with that young lady. And before you go and try to invalidate what he's saying, keep in mind that you made reference to him in your video, and 2, I caught you doing reconnaissance on him. Here I have footage of a bot asking if I still talk to Strix, and then when you discovered my video, that same bot commented at the same time you did. Also, I want to point out that you guys use bots to upvote your comments. How do I know that? Because your likes when I banished you off my channel were the same dislikes on my video, roughly within that 17-19 range. Yeah, dummy accounts is definitely a strategy of the dynamic duo, or I guess the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, that's something that I have not talked about yet, but believe it or not, I've heard it multiple times, including from mistamoshi right here. MavAttack has these bot accounts that he'll either repost his videos as like shorts or like, you know, videos praising what he is saying, or just using them to beef with people online. And I guess we can't say that this is 100% true, but like Moshi said, at the same time, these accounts posted, and you'll go to some of these channels and you'll see the only thing that they post about is praising MavAttack. So yeah, guys, I guess we have the MavAttack bot allegations.
But with that, let's get started.
Just like the title of the video, yes, I was a horrible friend, but I never really liked Moshi, and I should have been open and honest with him about that fact.
I'm not gonna lie, you off to a bad start, because admitting in your cold opener that you're capable of smiling in somebody's face and hating them behind their back kind of tracks, you know? So I don't know where you were going with that, but yeah, bad start, bud.
There were numerous times where Moshi would go out of his way to instigate problems between other mutual friends, take information that was spoken to in private and spread that amongst other people. Maybe not necessarily to be malicious, but to create discord amongst people.
And again, I keep hearing you use this angle where I was a problem starter and I keep instigating problems, but I want y'all to notice that he never makes one example of things that I've done to problem start.
Yeah, exactly, Moshi. And I really don't know if you're going to be watching my video, but if you are, the reason why he can't show anything and it's just like hearsay, right, is because it wasn't true. I mean, I've seen some of the archives of when you were kicked out of Gaming Illuminati. Like, again, not sure if you're watching the video or not, but I watched some of that and they were treating you like shit, bro. So if you have to make another response for any reason to any of this, you might just have to pull that out. That is if you still have like archives of that, which there are archives of that, by the way. But no, he's trying to frame you as if like you're the bad guy when really he is. And I just find it funny that like he wants to say he's against like, oh, talking behind people's back and shit like that, when literally he did that to fucking Corey and he's still on Corey.
And even in it, he contradicts himself by saying, oh, I wasn't malicious, but I caused discourse. So I'm like, just say you hate me, man. It'd be a lot simpler than trying to like, you know what I'm saying, beat around the bush. You hated me and you were willing to hide that behind my back instead of like coming to me and explaining your problem with me.
Very confused at what you mean by this, because I don't recall this ever happening.
Okay, you say you don't know about stumbling into Discord drunk and trying to show me news. And I should have expected that because, hey, I don't record shit to use against my friends at a later date. That's that guy's bag. But, you know what I'm saying? We'll chalk this up to a believe me if you want, an alleged if you want. But my hope is as I debunk a lot of these other things, then you'll be more susceptible to taking my word for these things. Because things like that are things that I experienced in passing. I didn't think immediately, oh, record this to use against my friend at a later date. You know what I mean? But I'll let you have that.
The video that Moshi is referencing here is his response to the Panda Ninja allegations that came out initially. It was his reply to that, which has been either privated or deleted, but that included spewing vulgarities at Panda Ninja and overall not taking the situation seriously.
I deleted that TikTok because I watched Corey's video and he said he wanted no hate going towards Panda Ninja. And unlike you, I respect people's wishes. Also, when I made that video, it was more so a heat in the moment because I was empathetic to the fact that Corey was being put in a situation where people thought the worst of him and they weren't going to believe him whether he was guilty or innocent.
And what's crazy about that too is at the time Corey wasn't even able to make a response. Like he just didn't do that, and he was getting grilled for it even though nobody heard his side of the story. Like, I totally understand why Moshi put out the video that he did, and I also understand why he took it down, and it was out of respect for Corey. Totally understandable.
And obviously I've been in a similar situation, so yeah, I empathized. I want to make it 100% clear. I did this because I did not expect Corey to survive that situation. In all respect, nobody does. You've been online, nobody survives that situation, whether you're innocent or guilty. But you know what I'm saying? You know, shout out to the samurai. I want you to put a finger down if you didn't take this seriously at first either, because who announces something like that in a put a finger down challenge? I may not believe what she's saying personally, but that shouldn't stop her from getting what she wants to say out. So the Panda Ninja, I apologize for, I guess, sticking my nose where it shouldn't have been. But yeah, like I said, heat of the moment type of thing.
It seemed to me there was always someone he could fall back on. I recall one situation where Corey had a random woman come out to his house when his girlfriend came over unannounced and awkwardly found Corey and the woman in his bedroom. This is just a subtle glimpse into how Corey treats his relationship with women. In my view, Corey often disregarded the emotions and boundaries of people around him, especially women.
See right there, you said I, which means that's your thoughts. And I brought that up not to vouch for it because I don't know Corey like that. But I brought that up more so to show that this is the wrong messenger to be delivering this type of message. The hypocrisy was insane. A womanizer is a term used to describe a man who has a pattern of pursuing and engaging in sexual relationships with multiple women.
I was single. I was exploring connections.
You said it yourself. You were pursuing multiple women, bro. That's womanizing. And you were pursuing them at the same time. And before you say we didn't do anything sexual, I just want to point out the fact that you were not pursuing this woman to hold hands.
Like, in all fairness, I know that Moshi is just saying this and, you know, the whole hearsay thing, right? But Moshi is fucking destroying MavAttack. This is crazy.
And getting to know other people while I was single. And the woman that Moshi mentions in the video happened to be one of them. Her and I had flirted back and forth way before my wife and I were ever a thing. No, there was no Legion of Doom. She was not run off the platform. And she in fact has quite a large platform now, while my wife at the time did not. No, we didn't cyberbully a woman into physical sickness. Because she couldn't be in a relationship with me, she targeted my wife.
Quite frankly, I don't like how you guys are painting her out with these screenshots to be like some kind of obsessed weirdo and not someone that you spent time manipulating. But I'm not going to spend too much time on that. I'm going to pass it off to Strix because he was there when it happened.
So yeah, we have Strix coming on here to talk about that. And honestly, props to Moshi, props to Strix for this, because I mean, having somebody else back up the story who was involved, right, is always a good thing. It's more than just putting up some random screenshots that are censored to try and prove your point. But yeah, no, without further ado, let's get into that.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Strix, and I am here to corroborate Mr. Moshi's allegations, some of them, as well as to address the 2 times MavAttack specifically addressed me, and these points are going directly to him. So, number 1, to address the allegations, I can speak towards the young lady. The young lady, in particular, had a conversation with me at the time. It was a private conversation where she did mention that she had been hospitalized and that her current health concerns had been exacerbated due to the stress and harassment of the situation. They had pushed her to the point of needing to be in the hospital for upwards of a week.
I did receive a lot, an onslaught, harassment from the Corey comments for years and years and years. And if Moshi was as close to me as he claimed that he was, he would have noticed how much this affected me mentally, how much time I had to step away, how much time I needed for myself and my mental health. Even other creators around us, other mutuals, noticed all of this happening.
Yeah, let's get one thing clear. I was a better friend than you probably deserved. And yes, you're right. I never understood back then why that stressed you out so much. But I understand now that if you're the narcissist that I think you are, why mentioning someone else, regardless of whether they're helping you or not, would set you off. And I want to double down. You're right. I don't understand the logic of, hey, this person gave me my entire audience, but why are they mentioning that person and complaining about it? I want to point out that Corey probably had other creative friends who were going through this, and none of them reacted like you did.
Exactly. Even if it weren't the case that, you know, he was just trying to use this as a point against Corey to try and make Corey look bad and be petty and whatnot, it obviously shows that he's, first of all, soft, and second of all, doesn't want to listen to anybody who's telling him, hey, here are some things you can do to stop the quote-unquote harassment that is coming your way.
Harassment persisted for years, and then when I tried to come back to my YouTube channel and resume making videos, even though Corey and I were not associating anymore, I continued to receive comments about Corey. So a lot of people ask questions about why did you make a video in 2023 about why you and coryxkenshin are no longer friends anymore, and that is the reason for that.
Any harassment you're receiving now is for the things that you're doing now, so that's on you. Because I think multiple people have pointed this out. YouTube has stuff for you to combat that now. And I think they've had that for a very long while. I want to point out something blatantly obvious. You were not the only content creator friend Corey had. And you were not the only one going through your definition of harassment. But you were the only one talking shit behind his back. And you were the only one making videos trying to ruin his reputation.
This video was uploaded 4 weeks ago, and only a few days after it was uploaded, my wife and I went to the comment section to address everything, to speak our minds about what he spoke his mind about. Come to find out, however much time later, that our comments were hidden from the channel, so our voices were silenced for trying to speak up and defend ourselves.
And you're only replying 3 weeks after that. And only because Breone covered it, so you had to respond. And you're right, I did block you on my channel because you did come into my comment section doing stuff like this. This whole bully routine you guys got going on, this Legion of Doom stuff, yeah, I'm not gonna put up with that. So yeah, I blocked you. And yes, you did leave a comment explaining your side, but also I understood your strategy. You were trying to take advantage of the fact that I have a smaller viewer base. You did that in my comment section, and you did it on your TikTok story, because you don't have a lot of viewers on TikTok.
Yeah, it's just so funny. He wants to like deny having this Legion of Doom where he's going behind the scenes harassing people and stuff like that. And in some cases, I've heard allegedly stalk people who he doesn't like. Like, just to bring this up again, who the hell is going to fucking believe anything you have to say, or the victims that are going to be coming out, I guess, in a video on your channel eventually, whenever the fuck that's gonna be? Like, who the hell is gonna believe anything you have to say with all of this shit coming out against you, on top of the milking and on top of angering his fans, angering Corey's fans? Like, who is going to believe you? Nobody.
But the people you didn't want that put in front of were the small subsection of Corey's fan base that you could rage bait. And you didn't want to disrupt that because you wanted to continue collecting those views. And I understood this, so I gave you a condition. Put this on main so everybody can see and everybody can decide how they feel about it with all the information present. And you didn't do that. Instead, you waited 3 weeks and only responded because Breone posted. So if you're upset that I didn't allow you to play your game, sorry, bud. And the profile picture and the name you're trying to blur out is your wife. And I'm just saying, claiming you guys don't form the Legion of Doom to harass people and then forming the Legion of Doom to harass people in my comment section, not the best look.
So I agreed to come on as an editor to help Steph get his videos out, and that was simply because I saw that a friend could use the assistance on his end, and I could also use the funds on my end, and that was strictly a business decision between the both of us. There were no personal thoughts in taking this editing job in regards to Moshi being the previous editor. I was not thinking about Moshi when taking this job.
Okay, you're saying it wasn't personal and it was just business, yet in the same video, you admit to hating me and talking shit behind my back in side chats. And last time I talked to him, we didn't have an argument, a falling out, nothing. Everything was Gucci the last time I saw him. We were good.
That's true. The last time I spoke to Moshi, we didn't have an argument, we didn't have a fallout.
And in that same line of thought, you expect me to believe that the second I quit my job, you moving in wasn't in any way personal. I'm supposed to believe that the same jealousy that made you think that you were in any way responsible for Corey's success, because let me get this straight. Skits before gameplay, the same line of thought that made you think that level of jealousy didn't rear its ugly head towards me. All right, Mav, let's say that's the truth, right? It still doesn't negate the fact that without any problems between you and me, without any falling out, you try to separate me from my friends and isolate me. And that is personal, no matter how you try to frame it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I don't understand why he would admit to like going behind your back and like having a call with like both of your best friends on whether or not, you know, you wanted to keep talking to Moshi or not. Like, I never really understood that. Like, what an awful video responding back to Moshi. And I can't even say I'm surprised.
You came out, and in the conversation, we talked about our lives. We talked about where we are and where we are going. But beyond that, you gave me an ultimatum that I had to remove 4 people from my life, guaranteed, no questions asked. The first 2 were mutual blocks. They'd already blocked me, but you didn't want them having access. We had that conversation. I had no problem blocking them. I said as much to you. The last 2, Moshi being one of them, were included in this conversation, which is why that why and have you talking to Moshi situation came up. I know you can talk to Moshi. You can go to him and speak to him. You gave me a response that indicated that no And no, I don't have any plans to. I don't have a need to. There isn't a reason for me to go and talk to him. And the reason you gave me for why was that he was a bad person. They were both bad people, these other two people. And then we continue our conversation where we talked about kind of our philosophies about people and life. That led to a few days later, me sending a message saying, hey, I am not blocking Moshi and this other person. I don't think they're bad people. In fact, I think they're good people.
Yeah, that might actually be something that Mav has to respond to if he really cares, or maybe he doesn't. I don't know. We'll see what happens after I put out my video. But either he has to say something about that and prove that this is not the case, highly doubt, or he just has to shut up and say nothing. But who knows what he's gonna do.
So in regards to myself and Steph's head mod and manager at the time, Otia, going on a smear campaign against Moshi is completely false. And even though Otia and I do no longer speak to each other or see eye to eye on certain things, I can at least speak to Otia's character and say that Otia would never do anything like this.
Yeah, I hate to burst your bubble, bud, but yeah, you're not the best example of character, and you're definitely not the best judge of it. So I'll say this here first. I'm not a fan of recording your friends or taking screenshots of their conversations, but for this, I have no choice but to make an exception. So here I have a screenshot of an end of friendship conversation me and Steph were having. It's filled with a bunch of drama, a bunch of business stuff, a bunch of end of friendship stuff, but it also has proof that I not only brought this up to Steph, but Steph confirms that I brought this up and confirms that this is the second time that I brought this up about Otia running around trying to smear my name.
When if you look up Mr. Moshi's history, this isn't the first time that he's had a business falling out with a group of people.
Wow, holy smoke bomb, Batman. I actually think it's funny because towards the end of that friendship too, I was isolated and badmouthed. So thanks for sharing with the class that you knew I went through that before, and yet you still decided to do what you did.
Yeah, and he's not lying here either. I've seen the evidence for this. I've seen the archived live stream recordings because for whatever reason they thought that this would be a great idea to do on live stream. Idiots. But no, I'm assuming he's talking about Gaming Illuminati. It was a group that they had where they would like play games or whatever. I'm not too familiar with it, so I can't like comment all the way on it. But from the archived live streams of them like kicking him out, they were not treating him good at all. And I was kind of hoping that he would bring this up, and he somewhat does. He doesn't go into detail though. But if he really wanted to get Mav, I mean, he could have just like maybe played some of that footage, showed, you know, where he was being badmouthed by his friends at the time. But it is what it is. But he is not lying about that.
There was nothing that Steph and I could allegedly come together to smear you, to gain from you. And in fact, both of our channels were significantly larger in size than yours, so what was there to gain? There was nothing to benefit off of doing a smear campaign against your name because of a business fallout with a mutual friend.
I don't know what point you're trying to prove because, yes, you're right. I was a smaller channel, and yes, you're right. You had nothing to gain, but you still did it. You just proved what? That you was out here being evil for the love of the game? But the fact still remains that you did that.
Why would I think it was okay for them to bother Moshi? And Moshi, you never reached out or addressed these concerns with me. If you need to talk about this, feel free to reach out to me because I am open to communication.
Reach out for what? I hate when people do this when they get caught being a piece of shit. Like they try to pretend to be a sensible person. Let me make one thing clear. The hatred that you had behind my back all those years is mutual now. I don't want to converse with you. I don't even want to be doing this video right now. And like I said before, I don't want to hear from you again after this. To the day we die. It's fuck you.
Damn, Moshi is standing on business. Holy shit. I mean, so far in this video, we've had like the most insane defense that I've seen in a while. And props to Moshi for this because Mav is being destroyed. Holy fuck.
In regards to Strix, and this is even something that I mentioned in the YouTube comment section that was hidden, is that during the time that we were friends or content buddies, myself, Strix, and Steph decided to make a separate group chat that excluded Moshi because we felt that we couldn't speak honestly or reveal personal information around Moshi due to behavior that he displayed in the past.
Again, he keeps mentioning this behavior of mine, but never gives examples. I'm like, bro, just say you hate me. And as for the group chat, I'll let Strix talk about it.
The group chat allegations, if you want to call them that. The group chats did exist, but I think the context of the group chats has to be somewhat explained. They initially existed because of a handful of slip-ups that were way earlier on in our friendship. over the course of, I think, a few years. And Mav felt like he could not speak freely.
I'm sorry, you lost me at years. So we're talking Mav is thinking of things that happened years ago, and he's using that to justify why Moshi shouldn't be a part of the conversation. That's beyond ridiculous. And I think everybody here realizes that because, like, why? Some slip-ups that happened in the past as of, like, years before, like, that just sounds really disingenuous. And like Moshi is saying, it honestly seems like MavAttack hated Moshi.
I did a poor job and was a bad friend, and then not communicating that I did not feel the same way. I felt like Moshi occasionally had made a mistake, but it was so few that I couldn't even name them all. But if Mav felt differently, he created this space. One of those group chats I can no longer see. I believe MavAttack made them. He has since seemingly deleted his Discord account, and so I no longer can see those chats. That's number one. The second one that I can find and still have access to was me, MavAttack, and These Nuts Steph planning a trip to TwitchCon in 2019. There isn't really any speak of why specifically this chat is the space that it is and name what it is, but in that group chat, I'm able to go back and see where, boom, I added, and we were able to talk about everything that was going on there and like getting an Airbnb and so on and so forth. That's what that message seemed to be about before it devolved into banter back and forth and sharing memes and making jokes with one another, as it happens in friend group conversations. I've already spoken to Moshi about this. When Mav brought it up, I didn't hide behind it. And should I have told him something sooner? Yes, you should. I should have addressed it. But I also realized that I didn't hold the same resentment that Mav did at the time. It was never that serious. It was never that serious between me and Moshi for one major reason. He and I had an argument before, a 2-hour heated argument on stream about something fairly frivolous. But what it taught me was that I can talk to Moshi. I can speak to Moshi. As long as you're willing to, at the time, come out, speak, say how you feel, everything usually works out. He's a very open and honest guy. This is regarding our final conversation. And this is why I said this is all directed towards Mav directly. What you allege in the video, I disagree with fundamentally because that is not how the conversation was presented to me nor communicated to me. If your intention was to check whether or not I was a good friend to Moshi or a good friend to you, what came across as an ultimatum that the only people that were allowed to be in your sphere were people that agreed to your demands. I think that your philosophy about viewing people as NPCs, even in your own, and you as a main character, that sentiment was negative, wasn't good. It wasn't okay. Being a little bit older now, I get what I think you were trying to communicate, but at the time, it came very much across as the only people that matter are the people that I deem that matter. And so, again, not holding that to you. Now that I've said all of that, I will just say the door was never closed. You can always hit me up. Things aren't the same. I don't think you want that. I know that I don't need that. But if you want to have one final conversation, we can always do that. I'm always down to just wish you the best. You know, it's always been love since that day. The last words we had to each other were about unhooking our PlayStations and wishing the best to each other. It hurt. It caused a lot of pain for a couple of years, but I've since moved past that. And I wish you, your wife, and especially your child, a ton of good sentiment. I hope that y'all live long and prosper.
Man, W Strix for this, honestly. Because in my opinion, I feel like Moshi. I feel like, yeah, no, fuck this guy. But yeah, Strix was just genuinely, like, respectful about everything and even wished Mav and his wife and child a good and prosperous future. Like, that really does say a lot about Strix.
If Strix was capable of being a bad friend to you, and then in turn choosing to continue to be your friend, instead of taking accountability or simply cutting you off and distancing himself from the relationship, then yes, I couldn't continue to be friends with Strix, knowing that he was capable of doing that towards somebody that he potentially didn't like in the first place.
So let me get this straight. Your logic is I can be a bad friend of Moshi, but if Strix is a bad friend of Moshi, then I can't trust him. Yo, I swear to God, yo, I'm tired of this shit. Like, I'm tired of this shit. It's like you guys don't give a fuck and I don't give a fuck anymore, and then I have to sit through stupid ass shit like this.
To say that I have, since the beginning, all of this started with Panda and I's video, I have stated very clearly, very concisely, what my purpose in all of this is for. And because true accountability, true responsibility, has still yet to have been taken, I am continuing doing what I am doing. And I will continue to do what I am doing until true accountability is taken, and not accountability that is rooted, in my view, in fabricating text messages in order to fool and manipulate an audience of millions.
Word, accountability. Me and coryxkenshin's best moments is accountability. All right, bro. Like, at this point, it should be abundantly clear that this guy is A, a liar, and 2, lost in the fucking sauce. So I know that a subsection of Corey's community likes drama, but honestly, y'all really should take his advice and just not engage. Honestly, you guys shouldn't be engaging in this video either. And honestly, I don't care if you guys don't, because like I don't want to do this. Like this I'm literally putting together just so he can't say I'm a liar.
And yeah, honestly, I have to agree with what Moshi has to say here. This has been going on for way too long, and I've said that in the previous few videos that I made. Now that we're going on to the 10th video that I'm making on this, and hopefully literally the last, like everybody just needs to move on, and I'm saying it myself, but who knows at this point. I mean, Mav's gonna continue doing his shit. I think I'm gonna move on to better topics, let's be real, because this has been a shit show. Now anyways, with that all being said, that's where Mistamoshi's video pretty much ends. I mean, he adds a little bit more, nothing too important, and then he wraps up his video. And honestly, in my opinion, I thought it was a really good video, and it quite frankly destroyed MavAttack. Who knows if MavAttack will respond, who knows if I will cover it again, who knows what's going to happen, but there is going to be a point moving forward where we're gonna have to move away from this and talk about other things. So yeah, I really don't have too much more to say about this except for MavAttack is beyond pathetic, and I think we already knew this. And with that, make sure you leave a like on the video if you enjoyed the video. If you had any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure you leave a comment down in the comments section down below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, because doing so will help out my channel. Now with that all being said, my name is Breone, and I will see you in my next video. Peace!